Taurus, hello. This is the third time I am recording your reading, and let's hope the third time is a charm. I'm so chaotic right now. My energy is like chaotic neutral or something. I'm not even sure if what that actually means, but hi. Welcome back to those of you who've been here before, and welcome to those of you who it's your first time. I'm Denise. This is Surrender to the Flow Tarot. My energy is really chaotic today, so you're in for a ride. This is going to be a timeless. It means whatever time you come across this reading, that's the time for you. General reading for the collective of Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising or Ascendant, they're the same thing, or Venus. It's general reading. It won't connect. It won't resonate with everyone. Take what does and leave what doesn't. And be careful not to make the story fit you if it's not yours. You don't want to relate to it. You want to resonate with it. There's a difference. So today's reading, we're doing an archetype reading. And we ask the universe what archetypes you embody the most. And we're using the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck for that. And I already pulled that for your second reading, and I'm just using those, and I just stopped it early on, and I'm not gonna reshuffle because these are the right, I know that these are the right cards. I stopped the reading because my energy was like, I don't know, chaotic. Okay, so at the very end we'll pull a card from the Priestess of Light Oracle for your last message from the universe, and I have 4 tarot decks ready for clarifying, which we will definitely use. 2 new ones, the Black Tarot and the True Heart Intuitive Tarot. Both really dope decks, super dope. And then 2 oldies, the Muse and the Tarot of Mystical Moments. So that'll be determined when we get to that point. Whatever deck yells at me the loudest is the one that I use. All right. Orange Selenite is my new crystal obsession. Selenite is my normal crystal obsession. My kid counted the other day. I have like 31 more though. Sticks of selenite. I have a problem. And then I just discovered orange selenite, which is all of the greatness of selenite plus hematite, which gives it like this grounding power too, so it's perfect. It's perfect. Okay. It's hard to find, but you can find it online. And it's really cheap. So Google it if that resonated with you at all. All right. You got 3 archetypes came out for you. 3. And then there's the one on the bottom. I use that one too. The one on the bottom signifies like where you are now or what you're coming out of. And the others are the ones that you're moving into. Now you are all of these all of the time, but different aspects show up. We're going to go through them so you recognize what they are and how to deal with it when they pop up in you. So what came out is the Siren in reverse. That's in its dark aspect when it's in reverse. The Eternal Child. I love this image. And the Destroyer. This one too, man. Every time I see that, it just, that same circle thing. Gosh, my moves are like... Sorry. I had come from a doctor's appointment, so I had different clothes on, and they're my clothes. I bought them, but they're not totally me, but they're it's what I wear when I need to be taken seriously by some kind of professional, like a doctor or something like that. I wear this one outfit. And so I had that on, and I came and tried to do a reading, and I just felt so weird. So I changed it. So, okay. All right. So your bottom is the Mentor. Okay. We'll start here. The Mentor is the teacher, the sage, the guru. And in its light aspect, which is what it is for you, it showed up as that, is focused, clear, bright, and remaining a student. So that's where you've been, or that's where you are right now, feeling like you're on track, you're like getting on track, and you got a plan, and like you're doing it, and you're starting to feel good. That's dope. In the darkness, which it did not come up for you, but I'm going to read it to you so you know what your high vibe and your low vibe is, okay? Is self-serving, envious of youth, righteous, and rigid. All right, so it is said that cosmic knowledge pours down on the world like a great illuminated waterfall. This can be an overwhelming force. The true teacher, though, is said to be able to hold this flow of wisdom at bay while the student sips from a focused stream. The mentor archetype has a gift for reading the room, for sensing the exact ingredient that will stimulate growth within the student, whether pleasant or painful. This is popping in my head. You are clearly a teacher, right? You are an information sharer that you might also feel really pulled empathic wise to help people or feel obligated to help people. You're not obligated to help everyone. Go with the ones that your heart, not your heart here, your heart center, you're here in your center, the light that lives in the center of you. Go with that, the one that pulls you there. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. The mentor archetype has a gift for, I read that. The mentor may appear aloof or available, harsh or tender, humorous or rigid. Their gift is to know what serves the soul. Ultimately, the mentor is in service of the greater cosmic good and aids in the elevation of consciousness. Make sure that you have a good support system around you, because you also need support sometimes, okay? Your soul needs stuff too sometimes. And so it's really important that you have a regular daily spiritual practice to keep yourself in full alignment, and that you have part of that is a support team for you, whether it's professional therapist or it's just a group of people or it's a forum you go to online or whatever it is. You feel me? Okay. It's something that involves other humans and other humans sharing information and knowledge and observations that are, what's the word? Unbiased, unemotional, and unattached. Ultimately, the mentor is in service of the greater cosmic good and aids in the elevation of consciousness. Anytime the mentor forgets this humble link and mistakes themselves for the source of enlightenment, the archetype falls into shadow. So remaining a student is the most important part of that, because that puts your ego aside. When you realize, when you come from a place where you realize there's so much you don't know. There's stuff that you do know, and there's a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that you don't know, and you're eager to learn it, and you're open, and you're not judging yourself or anyone else, you know? There's a man out in my back alley. Okay. I did not know he had a hard hat on. I don't know what's going on out there. We'll find out, I guess. All right, so the Siren in reverse. I haven't had this card yet, so I'm curious. Okay. These are all Roman numerals, and I am not great at figuring them out after 10, really. It's true. Okay. The temptress, the seducer, the femme fatale. Masculine, feminine, or non-binary. Doesn't matter. Means you, so if you If this is a feminine sign and you will also identify as feminine, it just means it's that much stronger in you. You feel me? Like it's that much more present in you. But it's in anyone. It's aspects. The side, when it's in its upright, in its light, which it isn't showing up that way for you, is awakened sensuality, absorption, arousal. Absorption. Interesting. When it's like this, it is wickedness, adultery, wreckage, betrayal, insatiability. Taurus, that's a lot. Whew. Embodying the Siren archetype requires that we explore things that are taboo. The Siren laughs at conventions and constraints. She eats rules. Other iterations of the Siren archetype include the nymph, the mermaid, and the fairy. They often come in sets of 3, a trinity of temptation. The siren calls and the world spins. What we thought we wanted pales in comparison to the sweet allure of her song. We find ourselves lost in a spell of desire and longing, perhaps even lust. Whether the thing calling to us is ultimately good or bad is somewhat irrelevant. It's the journey that matters. And the work of the siren is to take us on a deep psychic descent. Following her song, we go down, down, down to a place where lessons are learned and courage must be rallied to find our way back to dry land. Try as we might, resisting the call may not even be an option unless, like Odysseus, we bind our hands to the mast of our ship. It's likely, though, that falling for her call is the only way we will come to live more fully on the surface. So kind of in a really weird way, that's like the mentor, right? That's like the being a student part. You are drawn, and this makes sense because you got the destroyer, which is like the tower. It's the whole purpose is to come in and clear out stuff, to cause destruction so that rebirths can happen, rebuilding can happen. And that's what I'm kind of seeing here. You are naturally going to be drawn to the darker things, the darker vibes of people, the things that take you down a road that's a shadow road. It doesn't have to be bad, but it's you have a gift for, you're comfortable in the shadow. You see it, you understand it, you're not afraid of it, and you like to challenge yourself by it. But it's your strength and your weakness, you know what I mean? It's the thing that'll take you to the highest elevation you've ever been, and it's, or the lowest, it'll take you out, it'll decimate you. So that's up to you how you choose to respond to these frequencies that are constantly flowing through you, you know? It's like, I think of it as like our spine, right? It's like a electrical setup thing, and before we come through, it's already been like tuned and tweaked to whatever to our specific frequencies that we vibrate on. It's already that way. We're just receptors. And then when we come across them, once we're born, it's just how we move. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so it's just the way that each of us is set up. And so it's just figuring out what are our frequencies. You know what I mean? So for you, you are very strongly pulled to the elevating, to the things that elevate. Everything is a challenge, though. I want to say that. You're challenged on everything, and that's because that's how you're set up. That's how you activate your ascension. You need a mental it's a mental challenge, but it's it comes through in a physical way. It's not just thoughts in the head. It's it's this thing that starts in here, but it immediately comes here to like your solar plexus. You feel me? And your heart center. Those are the things that you are like, that's what you're challenging. If that resonates, leave it in the comments. Thank you. Okay. All right. The eternal child. This is very interesting. The inner child, the child of joy. I really love this image. I do. It makes me happy. Feel happiness. When it's upright, it is joyful, playful, accepts all, magic. When it's addicted, selfish, adrift, burns out. You feel me? It's going right in with the Siren for sure when it's in its darkest. So you are predisposed to self-harm. It is something that is coming from your ancestral line, and it doesn't have to keep going. You can stop it. You are the one who can stop it in this lifetime and restructure it, the DNA for all future of your lineage. I know it sounds, but it isn't crazy, okay? Okay. Celebrity culture is based heavily on this archetype, the eternal child, as is the phrase, live hard, die young, and the series of artists and musicians who died at 27. They almost all had unprocessed childhood trauma. Feel me? Deeply wounded, and deeply magical. This archetype is so spirited that when its appetite for life is insatiated, it seeks spirits and substance elsewhere. The eternal child struggles with addictions of all varieties. So before we actually get into the whole thing, just understand that you're predisposed to this from your ancestral line. You do not have to follow it. And when you're in those places that's the urges you want to go to these low vibe, not serving anyone, just causing destruction places, it's because you're afraid of something, and you're afraid of something because you're separated from your soul and your spirit and the one. That's why a daily spiritual practice is essential for you. And you can figure out there are lots of healthy ways to be in the shadow side of things. I have a healthy disregard for the law, for example. There are ways that you can still access those needs because they are energetic frequency needs for you. You have to find the higher vibe of them. You feel me? They're not all low vibe just because they're shadow. Just keep that in mind, okay? The eternal child is connected to the timeless, ageless, and infinite aspects of life. It is radiant and fearless and seeks joy above all else and at any cost. It struggles. I would question that. I don't think if you're seeking joy, you're not going to do that at any cost, because that's not what joy is. You would be seeking something else that isn't joy, a rush. And really, you're seeking to fill a hole. Joy isn't to fill a hole. Joy is to share it, to become that and share it. Feel me? Not to like distract or push something down or like fill up something you feel like is missing. It struggles being bound to an aging body with physical limitations in a world that demands attention to detail and logistics. The eternal child. The eternal child wants to nix all rules and responsibilities and go beyond what others say is possible. It wants to return with plenty of friends to the land of the free, where divine wine and creativity pour from the earth and sky. We all want to sip from the well of eternal youth, and this makes the eternal child naturally popular, perhaps even famous. The eternal child glimmers. It reminds us of what is possible, what is magical about this precious life. It's kind of like Taurus is the Empress, right? Taurus and Libra are the Empress. And the Empress is the divine embodiment of the raw feminine energy. Can't be deciphered, can't be seen and felt by us in this dimension. So it had to be transmuted into. And the Empress is her own life source energy. She can make it on her own and then flow with it and create. The emperor comes in and does the pruning and keeps her sacred. You know what I mean? Protects that ability and reveres it and has a high regard, and there's a sacredness. Okay, so that's how I'm seeing the eternal child is the new spark. You're like mischievous, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of fun, healthy, good fun that can be had, a lot of it. You just have to understand both sides of the coin. You're both sides of the coin, right? Because it's working against you in ways, but it's not, because if you think of it as working against you, then it's equally working for you. Do you understand? There's always an equal balance of things at the same time. When you fall, though, you fall all the way down, and when you soar all the way up, and it's hard to not have any gray. It's not impossible to find the win-win and the balance, though. We're going to ask, okay, how you can stay in balance. All right, the Destroyer, which is like the Tower. The Savage, the Unexpected, the Rejected. When it's in its upright and light, which it is swift and precise blows that redirect our life. The Tower. When it's dark, it's self-destruction, negativity, unwillingness to rebuild. See what I'm saying? That goes all the way through your theme of like the highest elevation or the lowest decimating, taking you out, taking it all out. Which is so interesting because you're Taurus and you're grounded, you are Earth. That's maybe why you were born into the sign you were born in. Instead of, because that is going to alchemize this like strong fire and this strong water emotional urges that you're constantly battling with. You feel me? Okay. Consider Picasso's statement, every act of creation is first of all an act of destruction. In old tales, the destroyer sometimes appears as a black dog. Other times it takes the form of gods and goddesses, and maybe Google these, Shiva, Kali, and Apophis, Apophis. Sometimes when I'm doing readings and I spell things and I don't look at them, I spell them totally incorrectly. Because channeling, shit is just coming through. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. The Destroyer, the final of the three archetypes in the trio of existence. Hold on. Where is it? The creator, the sustainer, the destroyer. I just thought that was important to read to you. The creator, the sustainer, the destroyer. You're the destroyer. The destroyer has necessary yet painful work to do in the world. Culturally, we have an aversion to endings, and we hang on to permanence as a signifier of success. Yet the destroyer pulls the rug out from underneath relationships, jobs, homes, and all forms of security. It's the part of us that wants things to end. It could be the death card, but I really feel like it's the tower. Its painful orientation is to uncover our true purpose. The destroyer does not let us linger long in comforts, as it knows not much happens in that realm. With its piercing eyes, it seeks out stagnancy from a distance, and the rest becomes history. In the old myths, this is the moment when heads begin to roll. The ground opens up and castles crumble. Hold on for the ride. The destroyer has arrived. All right, Taurus. I'm calling this the destroyer has arrived. I'm writing it down right now so I don't effing forget it because, yeah, I always forget everything. Okay. Woo. My goodness, Tarians. This is all heavy. All right. I am going to use either the Black Tarot or the Tarot of Mystical Moments. Although the True Heart is yelling in my head. And I'm just going to take it and see. The Black Tarot. Which is literally black. It's a really cool deck. Okay. How can Taurus stay balanced and in alignment with the light aspects, the balance of the light and the dark aspects of all of their archetypes? Take it, I'm going to see if there's more. I'm going to go for another one. Okay. Give me a second. You got a bunch. 5. Just give me a second. Bottom of the deck is the Page of Wands, and underneath that is the Empress, which is you. So this is an offer. It's a message of a new beginning, of a beginning of an endeavor. Relationship, partnership, whatever. Wands are inspiration, right? The divine spark of inspiration. And the Page of Wands is the messenger who brings that to another person, to like, for them to come together to make something, you know? In this reading, for this, I'm reading that as your eternal fire that's in you. that pull for the eternal child. You know what I mean? That pull, that like pulsing of life force energy. That is just you always. And what it's saying to me as it's showing up as a page in a way, and the question was how to keep in balance and in alignment with all of your archetypes, is saying that is where you want to keep it at the page level on the regular. So it goes page, knight, queen, king, right? Down here is the ace, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then page, knight, queen, king. So keeping it in the page keeps it. Pages are seen as students too. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of outlook you need to just have that will benefit you the most overall in general in your life. To recognize your spark, that for your insatiable like need for stimulation and growth and experience, and to look at it at the eyes of an innocent. You understand? Okay. So what came up is the 5 of Cups, the Star in reverse, the Ace of Cups, the 8 of Swords, and the Fool. This is difficult to hold them all. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. It starts out like, and then it comes together. The 5 of Cups is my card of self-medicating. So that's number one. It wants you, the universe wants you to recognize that that's your proclivity or whatever, propensity to self-medicate, to stay focused on the things that you lost. And you feel it so strongly in your heart because you are so connected to Source. That's the Ace of Cups. Just to not forget your connection to Source. And that's what comes first, always. And that is who you are, is to keep connected to the Source and to the One. Because you are so divinely connected and it's so strong in you, when something happens, that some kind of grief that causes grief, you feel it so deeply, all the way to immediately to the core of you. And that can feel, it feels so devastating, and it's hard, it's difficult to come out of that. You have to keep in your mind that that is your inclination, so that as soon as you start to feel yourself, as soon as you feel yourself slipping into it, you halt it and you flip it, you switch it. Feel me? It's not like you're going to immediately be okay, but you're not going to go further down. You're going to pause. You're going to do whatever works for you, whatever you have figured out, to see what you need in that moment. You feel me? Be careful not to romanticize your pain and it's really keeping you in it. You know what I'm saying? And be careful of false hopes. Look at things realistically. See them for what they are. I'm seeing there's a propensity for self-medicating and for anxiety. So these things are going to show up as, these imbalances are going to show up as anxiety in your head, because you're smart, Taurus. You're the spiritual beast, right? So when you're in your low vibe, you know exactly that you're in your low vibe. And even if you're trying to pretend to yourself that you don't know it, it's right here. And so that's causing a lot of voices in your head and alarm bells going off, which manifests into anxiety for you, okay? So these are all things to like As soon as they start to happen, you can just grab it, the frequency, just grab it and send it back, send it away. It will work, okay? It will work. The Fool is here. That is, the Fool is the ultimate student. The Fool is the eternal child. The Fool is the state of mind of the mentor, right? To stay as a student, to always be ready to start a new journey from the eyes of an innocent. Full faith in the universe, full faith in yourself, in your capabilities, excitement to go through whatever it is, good or bad, whatever it is. You're on it for the journey. You are in this life. You chose this life, Taurus, for the journey and all of the lessons that you learn. And all of those things that you go through, you become them. You are a broadcaster of them, and you elevate other people. Woo! All right. Okay. Taurus, always the spiritual beast. Okay. Let's get your last word of advice from the universe. So the Fool is just a reminder for you of a recognition of what is your, all of these are what make your foundation, where all of your other actions and reactions and responses are birthed from this. Is like the seed. All of these make up the seed of you and the building blocks of you. You follow? All right. It's a long reading, Taurus, but that is okay. You and Aries. Aries was really long too. There's one other one that was kind of long. Gemini, maybe. All right, you got two. It's a lot of reading for these. Just warning you. Healing the heart, power of self-love. So beautiful, yeah? And precognition, psychic ability, future vision. Excited for you. Okay, so your numbers are 27 and 13, which is 9 and 4. 26. Hilarious. Open right up. The Priestess of Personal Power brings you a message of hope and healing. Sacred geometry encases her upper 4 chakras, with the lower circle moving through her heart center. This represents the healing energy coming to lift you up and bring you true peace and personal power. This priestess reveals the inner strength you can call upon to overcome past heartbreaks that may have left you hurt and full of longing. Heartbreak of any kind. Doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It's any heartbreak. Losing a parent, losing a child, anything that, losing a job that you was your life, anything that caused your heart to break, okay? And also, the scars in the heart center might even relate back to misinformation or mistreatment in childhood. In fact, issues of rejection, abandonment, and even betrayal may be driving your present perspective on love. These past experiences have caused a shutting down reaction, an emotional resistance to love in spite of your mental desire for it. That goes with the Siren in reverse, right? Why you're making choices that are lower vibe for you, you know? Now is the time to heal the old heart wounds and reverse the faulty conclusions that are actually blocking your desire. The circle of consciousness and thought represents your higher intentions where love is concerned. Within each powerful vortex of personal energy is the expanding strength of your relationship with yourself and with the universe. But that's how you get to have the strong relationship with yourself. It's because you're aligned with the universe. You always have the choice to love and care for yourself, to vent your frustrations, and to take action on your own behalf. When you consciously release old fears and desperate needs, you will awaken the strong, autonomous person within, Empress, and your daily life force will project waves of joy and confidence to truly irresistible energies in the universe. Your affirmation is, it is safe and comfortable for me to love and be loved. Burping, shifting of energy. I live in my personal power, loving and encouraging myself every single day. Precognition, let's go for it. Haven't gotten this one yet, so. The Egyptian priestess on this card has developed a profoundly heightened psychic ability. She looks peacefully into the light hovering over her right hand, where images of the future reveal themselves. A soft glow emanates from her throat center and brow chakra, radiating from beneath her hawk headdress. The hawk aids her in reaching higher levels of consciousness. This messenger bird represents expansive psychism and future vision. This card indicates that you are now capable of reaching new heights of intuition and precognitive ability. In fact, you're probably like, oh, for the love of Pete, right? You're already so magical, and now you're getting a new one? I know, Taurus. It's a lot to carry. I know it's a lot to carry. It won't feel like that when you sort it all out and you have a daily spiritual practice that keeps you in alignment. You will be so surprised at how well functioning you are, okay? You may have already noticed flashes of insight and deeper awareness. If so, trust the information you receive and let yourself look even deeper into the potential meanings of your future visions. There may be important messages coming your way. These may take the form of guidance about future choices or inspirations about creative, career-related, or personal projects. Interesting. I would love to know if any of that has happened for you in the comments. If you want to share, no worries if you don't want to share. Remember that your soul vibrates at the level of spirit connection. For this reason, this card may also indicate a potential career involving psychic or intuitive practices. In fact, you may have had such careers in your past lives. Actually, I have had this card already. Know that your soul is calling you to reconnect. Take time to meditate more so you can peacefully receive. Let yourself trust your growing intuition. The spirit world is open to you, ready to reveal your future potential and all that you need to know now. Your affirmation is, I am one with the spirit world. Every day my psychic ability grows. So Taurus, this is a lot and intense, but dopeness, because you guys are dope. Spiritual peace. I hope that this helped. I hope that you found it helpful, and I hope it helps you in your everyday from this moment forward. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your energy with me. I am truly grateful. I'm truly grateful and honored that I get to read cards for you, for people, for you. So thank you, Taurus, and I will see you again next week. Bye.